This particular chapter, we only do 3 sections, 2-1, 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3, and then we'll have a test. So this will be an opportunity for everybody to make a really, really good grade and pull your grade up. All right, so here it is, the rectangular coordinate system. This is x, this is y, this right here is the origin. This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. I'm sure you remember all of that.
Yes.
Good. It's going to have you plot points. It's going to have you name the coordinates of a point. And then it is going to have you graph lines. So maybe the most difficult thing about graphing a line is that you might have to put it in slope-intercept form. So let's do one real quick, just so you've practiced. So let's say they give you this. And it says graph the equation. Before we can graph it, we need to first put it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to move that over. And then divide by 2. And then to graph it, remember you would go up to 5 halves, which would be 2.5. And then from there you would count slope. In this case it's a falling slope, so it would be down 1, right 2. Put another dot, draw a line. Okay. It might be a little bit more difficult to put it in slope-intercept form. So let's do one that's slightly more difficult. Let's say it looks like this. And they say graph the line. You need to put it in slope-intercept form. So in order to put this in slope-intercept form, I need to get y by itself. 2 things you could do. I could distribute the 3 and then go from there. Or in this case, it's actually just as easy to divide by 3 first. Did that one not work? Dylan, did that one not work? And now I'm going to subtract 2. And now it's in slope-intercept form, and you can graph it. You go down 3, put a dot, and then from there you've got slope 2/3, so you've got 2/3. Put another dot, draw a line. Okay, so the next thing is x and y intercepts. So with x and y intercepts, don't forget that you're plugging in zero for the opposite. So if I am looking for the x-intercept, then I plug in 0 for y. So I find x equals 4. Your x-intercept is written, though, as an ordered pair, so it'll be written as 4, 0. For my y-intercept, I plug in 0 for x. So you would write it as the ordered pair 0, 6. Couple more things, just reminders. Horizontal and vertical lines. Horizontal lines, remember, are written as y equals some number, and vertical lines because they're probably going to ask you to graph a couple of those. Okay, so now really the two things that you probably just need a reminder of. I know that you did them in probably Algebra 1 and definitely in geometry. That's distance formula. It is derived, or it comes from Pythagorean theorem. So they're going to give you 2 points, and they're going to ask you the distance between the 2 points. Or they might ask you the length of line segment PQ. It's the same thing as finding the distance. So when you use distance formula, it makes no difference whether you call this one point 1 or this one. Just because this one's listed first, I'll call this x1, y1. And this one x2, y2. And then you're just plugging the numbers into the formula. That's it. Then you just continue to simplify. Square root of 136 is not a perfect square, but it does simplify. In groups, I have one group of 2s. These 2 guys don't have a group, so they stay at home. So it ends up being 2 square root 34 is your distance. Everybody all right? Everybody remember doing that? Especially in geometry. All right, this next one you did in geometry also. Finding the midpoint of a line segment. Again, all you're doing is plugging numbers into the formula. So if you'll label your numbers, that way it keeps them straight. And then you just plug in. So I got 1/2 and 2. one more, and this is it's the same formula, but it's using it backwards.
Are we gonna use that L thing?
Probably not, because I don't know what she's talking about. But if you need it, you can use it, if you remember it, because I don't know anything about it.
There was something whenever they gave you 2 points and you would like put them on each side of the L and like you add them and it would give you something.
I don't know that.
I feel like it might be slow.
I don't know that. Okay, so this is just using, this is still using midpoint formula. But we're going to use it backwards. This time you're going to be using the midpoint to find the coordinates, but it is still the midpoint formula. So it's still M meaning midpoint. Okay, so they're going to give you something like this. Okay, so this time they are giving me the midpoint and one of the ends, but not the other, and I have to find it. So you're just using the formula kind of backwards. So each of these would give you these 2 midpoint values. So x1 plus x2 over 2 would give me 1, because it gives me the x value. That's it. And y1 plus y2 over 2 would give me 4. And they've given me one set of coordinates. It doesn't matter which one you want to call it, but just because it happens to be here, I'll call it x1, y1. So I'm going to plug that over where my x1 is, so I've got -3. And now you're just solving for the variables you don't know.
Ms.
So-
Bohannon, I am so sorry. All we're
That's
doing
okay.
is exploring, and I can't get it to click fast. It's only clicking slowly.
Are you hitting the,
Trigger?
I don't, sometimes.
How do you do it?
On here.
Oh,
If you'll
Hit
get
play?
yeah, if you'll get this, we'll see the words.
yes. Of course. Thank you.
Well, except for it should work both ways.
The trigger really just turns it on and off,
Well, no, it's supposed to go, but,
but it just doesn't
No,
sometimes.
no,
Okay.
okay. So we're gonna clear the fraction. And then you're just solving. So I got 5 for my x value and 6 for my y value. So Q has the coordinates 5, 6. And that's it. It should be really, really easy, this whole section. Okay, so when you open up, in just a second, I'll turn it on. When you open it up, Marina told me in second period, it has all these long instructions about how you're supposed to graph, but you just point on the dot and slide. So it looks fleshy. It looks complicated, but it's not. should be able to see your grade. Like I think it's all calculated.